So we've been talking a lot about injuries, injured athletes, injured athlete mindset, that kind of thing. What I really want to talk about in this video addresses more of like thinking about alternate forms of exercise in the presence of injury. So if I think back into my catalog of patients that I've worked with and where they've been successful, one of the things that pops out to me is a few shoulder patients and even a few knee patients that just really took it upon themselves to just immediately just switch course, just adapt and say like, I'm just gonna do what I can do. Again, I talked about that in a previous video, but that was so powerful. Let's give you an example. So I remember a patient that had a shoulder surgery. You know, this was a high-level athlete, you know, he's even a former Marine, like really strong guy. Take away his arm. He's like, oh man, what am I gonna do? He went and found different ways to get some sort of a fitness experience without having to use his arm in a safe way. So to me, I was like, that's great, good for you. So even things like, you know, we have those assault bikes, right? Like this guy, being able to jump up there with, use both feet and just one arm without like too much rocking back and forth so it was safe on the shoulder. Strapping a belt around his waist and tying it to a sled that he could drag behind him and he would go walk for a mile. You know, doing things like that, he's still getting an exercise stimulus, but he's doing so without compromising his healing or compromising his shoulder, which was amazing. And I've seen this time and time again in athletes that are willing to do the work and immediately adapt, and they do really well. Another one was with a leg, and we even have one of our PTs right now is out with an Achilles rupture, and he's trying to figure out the, you know, how does exercise look in this new realm that I wasn't expecting kind of thing. And, you know, getting on a rower and having one leg on a skateboard or just somewhere else and even just rowing with your arms or trying just to do single leg and your arms. Whether that is, again, sitting on an assault bike and propping your legs up and just using the arms. Whether that's doing some core work that doesn't impact the leg. Like it takes a little bit of creativity. But it also, just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not what you want to do, but it's just changing it so that you still can do something. We know exercise is really good for the brain. We know it's good for like our mental outlook on things, especially when we're injured and healing. We know that it's good to give our body some sort of a stimulus that is going to help it heal, which is what exercise does. So if we continue to exercise while we're healing, we should heal better, right? Makes sense. And so a lot of this is just, can we really change what that expectation of what exercise is into something that is what you can do now and then be able to add back into it? And there's lots of ideas and there's lots of ways to do this. Even down to, well, can you still lift weights with one arm? Can you still find a way to lift safely with one leg? Can you go to the gym and just do upper body stuff if you got a leg thing? Absolutely, you can do all that. So again, it's different. That doesn't make it bad, it just makes it different. So let's go ahead and again, use that to our advantage. If that's something from a PT perspective that you'd like help with, that's what we do here. So it's not just about the things that you can't do. We want to figure out what you can do and encourage you to do the things that you can do. And if that takes some creativity that you haven't thought about, that's our job. So come talk to us about it. Let's get you on the road to recovery. Let's get you back strong.